newly found sickness.
So 'tis the season. But I'm sure we can go back and listen to a podcast from a year ago, and I'm sure I was probably complaining about being sick then too. It never fails.
Similar. I was told the last time I went in to go see the work in P that I need to go see an ENT or ear, nose, and throat specialist because of my frequency of seeing them for sinus infections. Um,
I just like we've kind of talked about with gym etiquette before. I feel like most of mine comes from just working out in a gym. I watch people that are just disgusting, not wash their hands and lick their fingers and do a whole litany of disgusting behaviors, and then I wonder why I get sick.
yeah, but you also go to wrestling shows.
I go to wrestling shows, I go to ball games, I go to concerts.
You're around large groups of people.
I'm really good at the whole social distancing thing. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, it is funny and entertaining. I blame it all on my children. I work in a hospital, but the last time I was sick before having kids was in 2013 when I first started working in hospitals. And since that time, I've worked in three separate hospitals. And now, since I've had kids and they started going back to preschool, right? So post COVID time here, that is when all of my recurrent sinus infections began.
same as when I was teaching. I taught in public school. I stayed sick constantly, and then all the other teachers were like, "Yeah, you'll build up an immunity," and it was true. It was just like, "Oh, great! I get to be sick for 4 months straight, and then eventually I'm okay."
Yeah, that's the thing. With the recurrence of the sinus infections, they make you go through the course of antibiotics, which ranges anywhere from 7 to 10 days. And then if that doesn't work and you fail, quote unquote, fail, then they'll put you on another one and you do that cyclical for 3 times. And then they say, you should probably go see a specialist. And I've learned that from a friend of mine who is an infectious disease specialist. That's what she went to med school for and did an extra fellowship and all those extra things that I don't even understand for. And like her specialty is actually HIV/AIDS, but she does all infectious disease things. That's for like inside of the bubble of infectious disease. HIV/AIDS is her thing. Coincidentally, she really got interested in that at the same time that Rent made it to Broadway. So she's
It's a
like, I was really,
very intriguing coincidence. Like,
she's like, I was thinking about it, about going to into that field, and then when it came out on Broadway, she was doing a rotation up in New York at the time, and so she's like, so I just decided I was like, oh, here are the shows about stuff I might be interested in, and then she's like, I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. But either way, I was talking to her, and told her my list of antibiotics that I was given, and she's like, that doesn't even make sense. It's like, what do you mean? So the first two don't even treat sinus infections. So it's really only the third one, the one that worked for you, that actually would treat a sinus infection. It's like, oh. She's like, yeah, so if they had started on the third one, you wouldn't have gone through 3 rounds of antibiotics. You would have just gone through one. It's like, hmm. So I had this for an extra like 2, 3 weeks because of a medical error.
they were just like spinning the antibiotic wheel, and it stopped on this one. Sweet. Here's the next one.
But to be fair, this time I went in with that information and I said, no, I know that's not going to work and that one's not going to work. And this is why. And so they actually listened to me, which was very nice of them. They said, okay, so which one do you want? And I was like, the one that I was given the last time, that one was effective. Can I start there? And I did. And then it was gone. Totally gone.
It's awesome. I think there's been kind of a shift. So, and some physicians, not all of them, but some physicians have actually listening to their patients, kind of similar to what we do with coaching for fitness and nutrition. I think for a long time in the fitness and nutrition realm, it was like, do this, do this, do this. And like people realized that it didn't work, but like actually seeing what works for somebody's lifestyle and works to be incorporated for them. It's like, hey, like actually listening to the person that's going to be doing this stuff, maybe they kind of know what they're talking about and knowing their own body. So to an
Yeah.
extent, because then there's always the other end of the spectrum. We can, yeah, bring up any other the crazy videos of people online with their fitness and nutrition takes. So yeah, happy medium as always.
But gets to exactly what I wanted to talk about. So to begin this multi-part series, this would be step one. Okay. I thought about we inside of our world of nutrition and fitness, we start thinking about segments of time and meal planning, calorie surplus, calorie restriction, changing your exercise plan in a reactionary form. Like, this is the time to start because this is the day that you should start. What if you started thinking about things a little bit further in advance, a little bit further ahead of time? So we're going to start here with part one. This episode will come out in, let me check calendar real quick. It'll come out in November. And then some of the other episodes that follow it will come out after it, kind of leading up towards Christmas time, which is the time that all of you should start be thinking about, do you want to start a fat loss plan at the start of the year? You should
And
be considering this ahead of time.
I think pretty much that's everybody on December 31st. It's like tomorrow I'm starting. But yeah, if you're starting in November, you're actually planning ahead and you'll set yourself up for success. Crazy how that works. So yeah, like obviously we talk about a lot. Huge baseball fan. The teams in the World Series, as we're recording this on October 25th, the Diamondbacks, the Texas Rangers are going to the World Series. They didn't start just planning their strategy right before the season. That's why there was spring training. That's why there were off-season moves. That's why there's practice, practice, practice. So same should be done for your fitness and nutrition.
Yeah. And unlike the Phillies, we're all about playing the short game and not the long ball. So, to our friends that are listening in Pennsylvania and elsewhere that are also fans of the Phillies, I would say that I'm sorry that your team lost, but as I cheer for the Braves, I'm not really that sorry that your team lost.
Little friendly competition.
Yeah, at least it wasn't the Mets. Yeah, so.
Yep, I think we can all agree on that.
But I think what a lot of people should consider when it comes to their weight loss goals is, are you actually ready? Like, step one, assess yourself for your readiness to change. Have you put everything into place that, yes, I can move forward with this? What is holding you back? If there's something holding you back, what is it? Do you even know what it is? Have you narrowed it down enough to say, this is the thing that's holding me back from achieving my weight loss goal?
And I think for a lot of people, the difficult thing is to realize that it's okay to not be ready. Like you have to get the steps in place because I think so often people will go, "Oh God, I'm not ready, but I think I'm ready, and I'm going to go do these crazy fitness classes 5 days a week, and I'm going to go on this 500 calorie a day diet," when they're not even ready to just go, "Hey, I'm going to eat one more piece of fruit a day." So they go with this drastic stuff. So if you're not ready to make small little incremental changes, you're certainly not ready for drastic stuff. So, like you said, assessing what obstacles are in the way and going from there.
Yeah, and there are plenty of things that could be. It could be you don't have the time, quote unquote, don't have the time. But is there somewhere in your schedule when you're looking through a single day or through the week that maybe you're spending extra time doing something that you could exchange to do something that's fitness related, or something that you're spending the time on that you could do fitness things during that time, that same time? Like, if you watched, personal fan of Jeopardy, comes on at 7:30 Eastern. um if you like watching Jeopardy, you know it's going to be on every day for 30 minutes starting at 7:30. Could you do something during that block of time and continue to watch Jeopardy, or do you need to like take a step back? There are plenty of things in everyone's life that are, kind of frivolous, but I really think about Jordan Peterson's quote what is something that you should do, that you could do, that you would actually do when you want or thinking about something that you want to make a change? Because there are plenty of things. I could suddenly cut my calories like 1,000 a day, but would I do it? Probably not.
Yeah, it kind of boils down to the philosophy I tell a lot of my clients is the best exercise is the one you'll actually do. Like if we've talked a ton about, hey, you used to do long, slow distance running. Great, that's your thing. You tell me I have to go run every day. I don't care if it's the best exercise possible. It's going to burn all these calories. I'm going to be ripped up and all this crazy. I'm not doing it. So like
Yeah,
that's not going to be what somebody should exercise prescribed to me. So yeah, making sure it's going to be something that fits in your lifestyle, that it's going to overcome obstacles. Because like I've talked to so many people that are like, I'm doing keto because we go back and listen to every podcast we've done about that we discuss keto. But like I love eating carbohydrates, and I don't eat a whole lot of meat. I don't eat a whole lot of fat. I'll hear that a lot. And normally I don't eat that much fat in my diet, but I'm doing keto, so this is really difficult. It's like, so why are you doing keto? Well,
yeah,
my friend told me, or I saw it on this TikTok or whatever.
yeah. If there is anybody out there listening that is thinking about going on some diet out there, go back and check out our episode on what the fad diet. And the thing that is most common with all of them, how they facilitate weight loss, is calorie restriction. So if you need to be on any special diet that completely eliminates uh, a food or a category of food, and you do not also have a chronic condition that would tell you that you got to avoid that food, don't follow that diet. Sign up for your free meet and greet at Franchise Nutrition Fitness.com or at franchisenf.com. They both still work. Come see us. We'll help you put together the plan that includes all the foods that you normally eat to also help you achieve the goal that you want. So, and speaking of that, though, in this assessing your readiness to change, we also assess clients and their readiness to change. I don't want to mistreat you in saying that I think you're ready to go through a nutrition and fitness plan, because that does a disservice to both of us. I'm not helping you. If you're not ready, I'll we're gonna have this same conversation we're having right here this episode, and I'm gonna say, hey, you should probably look at some other things, maybe check these kind of things out, see where you're at, and then when you are ready, come back to us and we can work together. I want to help you get there, but I can't make you get ready. Like, that's something that you have to do yourself to be ready.
And I think that really differentiates our approach from a lot of different stuff out there. That it's very easy, I think, for a lot of programs to take your money and go, well, sorry, washed your hands of it. It didn't work for you. You didn't put in the work. But if you're not ready to put in the work, we can assess ways to remove those obstacles so you're all ready to put in the work, and then you can circle back around, and we will help you develop a program that suits your needs and fits those needs and accomplish those goals.
Yeah. And we've had clients that are like that. Like I've had people that we've talked to during meet and greets that just weren't ready. And I gave them some ideas about things they need to look at. And they came back a couple of months later and they said, yeah, now I am ready. And this is what I did. And this is where I'm at. And this is what I'm trying to do. And this is what I've been trying to do. And we were able to kind of refine their plan so that way it could be meeting their goals better. But like Matt said, we want to make sure that you're as successful as you can possibly be. So really hone in on making your SMART goal. Go check out that episode. It'll be linked in the show notes. Make your SMART goal of what it is. Is that something that is actually achievable with where you're at right now? And if you feel like it's not something that you can work towards, what are the things in your way that are making it seemingly impossible to work towards? But for anybody out there, like I said, this is in November when this episode comes out. So you should start thinking about, do you want to start a weight loss goal, a weight loss track in January, because when you see the results of it, that's when it's probably going to be warm. And that's when you want to have already done the work ahead of time. So this is thinking a couple of seasons in advance. Get yourself ready, get yourself set up, then go through your weight loss plan, and then reap your rewards when the sun finally comes back out.
Yeah, like what I've talked about before when we both trained at the University of Georgia, get people, yeah, that week before in March that were trying to get that spring break body. Not going to happen in a week, but you start planning now, start it in January. You have that roadmap for success right there. Yeah, you can be all nice and ripped up and looking great for your spring break trip.
All right. But a short episode this week. We'll come back next week with the next part. It's setting yourself up for success for a weight loss plan that starts in January. Like we say every week, maximize every bite.
Maximize every rep.